Hey, good morning, fourth grade. I've been recording a lot this morning and none of them are working. So I've spent probably an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, and I'm doing lessons, recording them on Google Meet, but none of the recordings are saving. So I'm on YouTube Live. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to read a little bit to you and leave you with a question to ponder, and then we are going to talk about it tomorrow. So I'm going to pick up on page 162, neighbors. I want, as I'm reading this out loud to you, to either close your eyes and listen, trying to make visuals like a movie in your head while I read. You know, this is a chapter book. There's not any pictures. And then when we're done, I'm going to leave you with a question. So visualizing and an extension question today are our focus. Neighbors. Eggs explode like smears of snot on our front door. Just dumb kids, says our cowboy. Bathroom paper hangs like ghosts from our willow tree. More dumb kids, says our cowboy. A brick shatters the front window, landing on our dinner table along with a note. Brother Quang refuses to translate. Mother shakes her head when Vu Lee pops his muscles. Our cowboy calls the police, who tells us to stay inside. Hogwash, our cowboy says. He spits a brown blob of tobacco. I repeat, hogwash, puckering for the ending shh. Mother decides we must meet our neighbors. Our cowboy leads, giving us each a cowboy hat to be tilted while saying good morning. Only I wear the hat. In the house to our right, a bald man closes his door. Next to him, a woman with yellow hair slams hers. Next to her, shouts reach us behind a door unopened. Redness crawls across my brother's face, and Mother pats their backs. Our cowboy leads us to the house on our left. An older woman throws up her arms and hugs us. We're so startled, we stand like trees. She points to her chest. Mrs. Washington. She hugs our cowboy and kisses him. Ooh, I thought only husbands and wives do that when alone. We find out Mrs. Washington is a widow and retired teacher. She has no children, but has a dog named Lassie and a garden that takes up her backyard. She volunteers to tutor us all. My time with her will be right after school. I'm afraid to tell her how much help I'll need. Mrs. Washington has her own rules. She makes me memorize one new word a day and practice it 10 times in conversation. For every new word that sticks to my brain, she gives me fruit in bite sizes, drowning in sweet white fluff, cookies with drops of chocolate small as rain, flat, round, pan-fried cakes floating in syrup. My vocabulary grows. She makes me learn rules I've never noticed, like a, an, and the, which act as little megaphones to tell the world whose English is secondhand. The house is red, but we live in a house. A, an, and the do not exist in the Vietnamese language, and we understand each other just fine. I pout, but Mrs. Washington says, every language has annoyances and illogical rules, as well as sensible beauty. She has an answer for everything, just like Mother. I now understand when they make fun of my name, yelling ha 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 down the hall, when they ask if I eat dog meat, barking and chewing and falling down laughing, when they wonder if I lived in the jungle with tigers growling and stalking on all fours. I understand because Brother Coy nodded into my head on the bike ride home when I asked if kids did the same at his school. I understand, and I wish I could go back to not understanding. Our cowboy says our neighbors would be more like neighbors if we agreed to do something at the Del Rey Southern Baptist Church. I've seen the church on a sign where blaring yellow sun rays spell the word God. Our cowboy and his wife wait for us in the very first row. He's smiling. She's not. A plump man runs onto the stage shouting. Everyone except us greets him, Hallelujah! The more he shouts, the more everyone sings, Hallelujah! Later, a woman smelling of honeysuckle signals for all of us to follow. Mother and I are told to change into shapeless white gowns. We line up in a hallway too bright and too bare, where my brothers await us frowning, all wearing the same shapeless white gowns. I giggle. Mother pinches me and steps forward first. The plump man waits for her in a tiny pool. One hand holds her nose, and another at her back, pushing her under. I start to jump into the pool, but Mother is standing again and coughing, her hair matted to her face, eyes narrowing at me. Each of my brothers gets dipped. My turn comes. No matter how, I laser Mother to stop it. And yet, it's not over. We must get dressed and line up on stage next to the plump man, our cowboy, and a smiling wife. Her lips curled even more. As people line up to kiss our cheeks, drops from wet hair drip down my back. Bumps enlarge on my chilled skin, and I realize we will be coming back every Sunday. All right, so at the end of that, I want you guys to think about something. What is she sacrificing? What is the family sacrificing to fit into this community? Kind of like survival mode. What is it that they're doing to survive? Let's talk about that. And would you do these things? How would you feel if you were in that situation tomorrow?